Hey, welcome to Chrysalis and Victus Tarot. I've got a new moon in Gemini reading for you today. So we're just going to take a look at, we'll do a general reading. We'll take a look at life, love, and career and see what's going on. So traditionally, the new moon is a time of planting seeds of manifestation. But what I'm seeing here is that this is a time to release some pressure. So I'm feeling a built-up pressure. You know, so while there's pain from... Ten of Swords is my favorite card, by the way. I love the Ten of Swords. It always is such a familiar feeling to me. I don't know if that's sad, but... anyway, so... what I'm seeing here, what I'm feeling is this, like there's all of this built up pain, but it's also like, almost like acupuncture, that like letting out some feelings that have been pent up, that have been accumulating. Yeah, it's just this pressure is building and building and building, and it almost feels like you're going to explode. So let's take a look at what this pressure is. Ooh, okay. So it's the Six of Swords. It's about walking away from something, moving away from something that in principle you could not continue with anymore. So this could be something that I really feel like you've moved away from it in order to pursue some kind of passion, or to honor some kind of passion within you, to honor some kind of emotional yearning or longing. And so there is an aspect of yourself that you really sheltered in moving away from this. However, it left you exposed as well. And it's taken you away from a feeling of surety and security and comfort. And I really feel that you are all three people in this boat. You are the person who is moving yourself forward through action, through your own actions and your will. You're also this mother figure here, this nurturing figure, having to provide yourself with comfort in this movement into the unknown. And at the same time, there's some aspect of your inner child that you are protecting, or that you are honoring in this movement away. So what I'm getting from this is that there was something that there was a way that you did not protect your inner child. There was something about your younger self that you didn't honor. So this could be things that we carry shame about, or that we're dismissive of in ourselves, emotional needs that we're dismissive of. And so I see you sheltering that and having made that decision. So this could be something that you're already doing, or this is something that the new moon is bringing in. I'm also really called to remind you that while these harsh truths or harsh thoughts are difficult and painful, they're actually keeping you from sinking. So these things that you have developed, certain difficulties you've been through in your life from your past, are actually keeping you afloat at this time. So be careful of hard or harsh judgments of yourself, like, I shouldn't be like this, because maybe you're like that right now in order to protect yourself. Like, for instance, I struggle to let people in. Perhaps you're not letting certain people in for a reason right now, and that will show itself later. It's not really your concern right now. There's other things to be concerned about. So what else? I'm moving away from 10 of Cups. Okay, so this is actually something that I feel this is an echo of a reading I did. I don't know which one. If you watch all of my readings, you might know. It might call to mind, but there's an echo here. Something about your idea of happiness has changed. And one of the reasons that your idea of happiness has changed either is the introduction of certain children into your life. So this could be maybe not your own children, but children around you. The concept of children, perhaps you didn't want them and now you've changed your mind, or vice versa. Something in relation to your ideal life has changed, and the reason for that I see is because of this choice you have made to honor your truer self. So one of the things that can happen is that, let's say you always thought, we'll use a traditional kind of, albeit outmoded lifestyle at this point. So, I'm going to find a partner, I'm going to have 2 children, I'm going to have a house. And before I have that, I'm going to have my career all set out, and I'm going to have this specific trajectory. So there was an idea of your life, but I think that what has happened is you've come into an understanding that wasn't really what you wanted. So not necessarily that model, but there's a model of happiness that you thought was what you needed to be happy. You thought that was what you needed for fulfillment. And I see you here understanding that there's a different way of approaching it. So moving away from a path that seemed like the path to happiness has actually brought you closer to it. So whatever you thought your happiness was, I feel like it has continuously hurt you and disappointed you, and your expectations of that situation have continuously been called up into question, or it just hasn't come to fruition in the way that you thought it would. So I see you here letting out some pressure. Yeah. Okay, let's clarify. We'll clarify the Ten of Swords. Okay. So this did come out reversed. I'm going to turn all of the cards upright. I don't really read this deck with reversals, but I will keep that in mind, that it was reversed. So we have the Ten of Swords, the Lovers. Yeah, ideal partnership. Okay, so there was an idea of partnership that you had that maybe wasn't your own. So it was an example of partnership that was modeled to you or that you idealized. There's a lot here about expectations and ideals. And these expectations and ideals, once you started to self-reflect, don't actually reflect you, is what I'm getting here. And so with the Lovers and it coming out reversed, there's almost this awareness that the choices I make are choices, but I am also directed. So being able to recognize both, that there is always some aspect of change that is divinely guided, if you will. And part of it is you. It's a partnership. There's always something kind of strange and magical that we can't explain at the center of things. I'm also getting here that there is this relieving, letting out the air in the tires, if you will, relieving this pain, this pressure, bringing yourself into this different understanding of what happiness is for you. If you are single, is calling in that other person. So it was almost that your expectations or your ideas of what an ideal relationship were, or an ideal, because we're doing general here, we're not in love yet, your idea about the choices that you've made or the life that you wanted to have has now shifted. So what that's done is it's created this space in your life for something, for what you actually, what is right for you, or what is going to feel really good and ultimately fulfill your true idea of contentment or happiness. Let's clarify the Six of Swords. The Three of Pentacles. Yeah, so there's definitely something communal that you're moving away from, something that you're honoring yourself. And it was almost like it was a drain on your resources, on your time. And I really feel that you felt a sense of duty and a sense of commitment to this, especially because of whoever was involved. So moving away from this situation, life in general, I am getting the vibes that this has to do with career, but this can be something else as well. It was like trying to build or collaborate, and every time you tried to collaborate, it just wasn't the right situation, or it taught you something, you learned from it, you know, but it was still almost building a castle for someone else. It was still not building for you. You were just sort of leaking resources. In that situation, however, you did build skills. Okay, so whatever you did to collaborate with others, you were building skills through that. So I see you moving away from a collaborative situation, something where you had other people were involved or are involved. And I'm hearing about responsibility. So this is a situation where you felt responsibility to other people, but it wasn't serving you. You were putting this active will and this nurturing into this situation, but not into yourself. So moving away toward that, you're coming toward the Ten of Cups, which is the ultimate emotional fulfillment card. It's also a card, as you can see, of family. And family can be whatever it is for you. So for some of us, family is the family that we create ourselves. So it's made up of friends and different folks around us that feel nourishing for our soul. And for some of us, we're lucky, you know, to be born into families that feel that way for us. So whatever that is for you, let's clarify the Ten of Cups here. The Three of Swords. We have the Three of Pentacles, Three of Swords. A lot of energy of three. That I'm feeling it's really appropriate for Gemini. The Lovers is the Gemini card. We have it at the center of our reading. The Three of Swords for me in this portion of the reading is talking about where the pain started. So the pain that I see in this for you is expectation. It has to do with expectation and ideals. So with the 10 of Cups, again, coming back to, the heartbreaks that you've experienced, what was heartbreaking about those situations for you? Was it that the people didn't live up to what you were looking for? Was it that you did not live up to what you were expecting? Did you come up short in terms of tools or skills or abilities to make that happiness or that fulfillment really come to the surface? But there's a lot here to do with expectation and seeing things as this or that. So again, coming back to the choice, it feels like letting this steam out, letting out this pressure is allowing you to come closer to contentment, because you're recognizing that it is not either this or that there's some sort of gray area or third choice or third avenue, another path to take. And it may be one that you didn't dare to take before. It may be one that felt like it wasn't allowed, or it wasn't for you, or it was, people might think it was ridiculous or something like that. But now I see you moving into the space of being able to choose a life for yourself. So in terms of answering the question, what seeds are you planting, right? Because it's our new moon. What seeds are you planting? I actually see you planting seeds you've planted long before. These are not new seeds. These are seeds you planted in your daydreams, in your dreams, in your childhood hopes. And, this is almost like when you think about a scenario that you played out when you were a child, when you were playing, let's say you played dolls or something like that, or you had a recurring daydream. What were you doing in those dreams? What did things look like? And so maybe over time you rationalize that that's not the way that life is, or something like that. Things have changed, things have changed. So we have the Panther, protection. Consider who you allow to take your energy and who you give it away to freely. And this is what I see here with the Three of Pentacles and the moving away, and that pressure and that family. So there were people that you treated like family, that you gave your energy to, and I see you moving away from doing that and protecting your sacred energy, protecting your the most vulnerable parts of yourself. And that's part of the weight that's coming off here, that pressure that's lifted, is that you no longer have to do that. You no longer feel bound to do that by guilt or whatever it is that person or those people had over you before, a sense of duty. And ancestral healing, Eagle, your ancestors are holding space for you to heal your past. Okay, yes. And so with that inner child aspect, sorry I keep pausing, it's just really noisy here. I hope that it's not too distracting for you, but I just want to get this out. So with this inner child, this can also be the aspect, traumas or past traumas, things you're carrying for your ancestors, things that you're healing for your past or your ancestral past. And so this is something where, and it's interesting that it's eagle, because the eagle has the highest perspective. The eagle has this sort of zoomed out perspective. And so it gives you this space to be able to look at these things. So what I actually see for you in this new moon, rather than planting seeds, is almost like viewing them from above, the little sprouts that have come up, evaluating what is there and what is available to you and what is actually coming out at this time. So not focused on more, but on what is and what always was. It's not very overtly future-based, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It's not about projecting into the future. It's more about understanding the present. Okay, so that's our overall reading. Now I'm going to delve into a love reading and see what we have going on for you for the new moon in love. Okay, I wanted to clear the energy a little bit here with some incense. I just have to get a lighter. And we'll take a look at a love reading for this, I guess, will be from new moon to new moon, that period of time. See what's going on in love, in relationships. And if you're wondering what incense I'm using, it's native. It's a brand called Native Soul. They make really beautiful blends. Okay, so let's take a look at your love life. So if you're thinking of a specific person, maybe don't. I'm guided to tell you not to think of a specific person, but to open yourself up to, what do I need to know about love in this period? What seeds am I planting? What am I growing at this time? We have a card to show us the overall energy. Okay, we have the Page of Swords reverse. Yeah, so this is about not watching that person on social media, not paying attention to what is being communicated at this time in, I feel like there is something that is a way that a person in your life is coming off to you right now is not the truth necessarily. You can definitely misunderstand or see the words. Okay. This person may be misrepresenting themselves or miscommunicating. It's a lot of mixed messages. It's a lot of confusion. And there's also the possibility of offense being taken when none was meant. So there's this kind of like cease and desist kind of thing in terms of like try not to jump to conclusions or watch too much of what this person is doing, because it is not giving you an accurate picture of what is going on. Okay, so this is a time of self-love, of filling one's cup, of focusing on oneself. So I see you bringing in a lot of beautiful, loving, nurturing energy to yourself. And it's almost like part of that is how you distribute your love and energy. So it seems to me that there are a few people or a few places that you can send your love freely, and then other places where it's sparing. So this is not to say don't be compassionate or don't give, don't love people, but be cautious about how many people you hold space for or who you give your time and energy to at this time. It's almost like if you send out a steady stream of energy, of loving energy from your heart space, as opposed to kind of giving it out in chunks to different people. That'll just kind of cover all your bases. So to sit in the energy of love, self-love, and love for others, to have that concentrated energy coming out from your heart space and out from yourself, and just kind of blanket loving, that is going to serve you better than dividing it up into chunks and giving it away. I hope that makes sense. What else? I do see that there are certain people, if not just one person, where it's that, you know, that is, so this could be a child, or it could be a partner, someone, or, you know, like a mother. There is someone where or certain people that it's safe to love, and those people are kind of on your, you can dole out chunks of love to them in a different way from this stream, but mostly you're wanting to just kind of stay in that space of like, I emanate love, as opposed to I give it out more specifically. And we have the Seven of Pentacles. Okay, because you are, because you're bringing home, you're bringing something home through this cycle. So you're bringing home a lesson. You're making something integrate and tangible. And in order for it to integrate, you can't be spread out everywhere. So if you are someone who is very nurturing and often are giving of yourselves in this way, this is about taking all of that energy into yourself, sending it out in one big radiant blanket love. And so what that means is that, you know, if someone, if there's a situation that requires your love or support, you sort of say, you go into your heart space, you send them love, and you say, I'm here for you, or like you say, I don't have the words for you right now, I don't have the, I wish that I did, but know that I'm here and I love you. And that's the thing that I keep hearing is, know that I'm here and I love you. And that can be enough. You know, and sometimes that has to be enough. Sometimes we have to accept that that is enough from others as well, that they don't necessarily have the capacity to hold the space that we need always. Okay, but you're bringing this lesson home, a lesson about love and relationships, about integration, but there's something that is about to, I'm really drawn to this disc, this Ace of Pentacles that's flying through the air. There's something that's about to come in and surprise you, something that you did not see coming. So while you're busy carrying this stuff and taking stock and evaluating and looking at your labors, there's a lot to do with in this Gemini new moon about reflection, looking back, taking stock. Where have you come from? You know, what have you moved through? And really truly appreciating that, how much you've grown in the last year. And but there's something that's coming up to surprise you. So let's get some clarification for the Page of Swords. The Eight of Cups. Yeah, there's something that's coming toward you, something from the past, something that you walked away from. It was hard to walk away from. But just because it's coming back does not mean it's time. Does not mean it's time. This is interesting. Okay, so the message I'm getting here is that there's something that you will walk away from that's hard to walk away from because of this miscommunication if you go down that road. So there could be like a kind of false ending or an ending that doesn't need to happen if you just kind of step back, sit in the space of love, and take stock. And we have the Hermit returning. So we have someone that has been in hiding, someone from your past that has been in hiding, who is going to come back and kind of like surprise you out of nowhere. And they are going to have some kind of something tangible for you. Something that's going to help you stabilize in order to come out of this energy where you have to stay within yourself. But for the time being, you're staying in that space. But just know that if you are in this energy of like, it's almost like stalking people, if you're in this energy of watching people and making decisions about what they mean during this time, it will lead to a false ending, is what I keep hearing. And so with the Hermit, there's this wisdom that comes from, and it's clarifying the Seven of Pentacles, so there's a wisdom that comes from just being with what is at this time. And because this is a space that you can't really see, that you don't really know enough about, that's where, again, we come back to this Ace of Cups, staying in this space of love, just kind of a blanket feeling of love, and not getting too specific, because there's still something that you cannot see. There's still something that has to come out of hiding. Something that's been brewing behind the surface. And Ace of Cups clarified by the World. This is the key to the completion of a cycle, or this transition from so this could be a transition from single to in a relationship. This could be a transition from being in a certain kind of relationship to being single. But you're fundamentally changing the way that you live your life and the way that you operate within your life. And there's a sense of peace here, of feeling more relaxed with yourself, of feeling more at home with yourself, more in love with yourself. I feel like I want more specifically about the characters here. So let's pull some clarifiers for the Hermit. And I'm going to use the Aquarian Tarot for clarification. So what can we know about the Hermit? Four of Pentacles, Two of Cups, Nine of Cups. Okay. I don't read these reversed. So Four of Pentacles, something that you've been holding on to. So this Hermit, this is a situation or a person from the past that you've kind of held on to in a way that you've never really let go of. When you met them, it felt like a dream come true or a wish come true, or you recognized in some way that they were an ideal partner for you. They were an ideal person for you. So this is definitely, the Hermit represents the person, if you're thinking or I told you not to think of a specific person, but it represents a specific person in this reading, and that's really what I was feeling. And the Hermit is a card of Virgo, so it could be Sun, Moon, Venus, North Node. So there was some sort of issue of possessiveness or jealousy in this situation. There's a feeling of ownership that you or this person have over each other, regardless of how long it's been since you've seen each other. There's this kind of feeling of like, even if they moved on, you sort of felt like they could never move on to something that was what you had. So there was a sense of security in that what you have with this person is very singular. There isn't something like this. This just doesn't exist with anyone. And so this is what I see kind of off to the side and off from center. This is one of the key players in your wish coming true. So with the Two of Cups, it definitely indicates that this is it feels like a balanced connection. It feels like you are two halves of one whole. And even if you have moved away from a dream you once had in relation to this person, it's still kind of been there the whole time. It feels like you haven't lost it. It feels like it's been there. Let's take a look and clarify the Eight of Cups. What is the Eight of Cups here for? The Four of Rods. Wow, okay. The Knight of Swords. Yeah, so this person is coming back with a vengeance. Yes. And they have you in their sights. So, or this could be you. This could be your energy. If you resonate with the Hermit energy, you've been in hiding, you've been thinking about someone, you have this like kind of jealous, possessive feeling about them, but they feel like an ideal person. They feel like a wish come true, or at least that's how you felt, but things have kind of happened between you. That's definitely indicated here with the Eight of Cups. I see you coming back, or I see this person coming back with a vengeance. Coming in with communication, and they have their eye on a victory. So they are not willing to lose in this situation. And with the Four of Rods, this is often considered like a twin flame card because it has the 1111. But for me, this is a portal. So what this is indicating to me is that, again, with this blindsided energy, this is something that comes out of, it feels like it comes out of nowhere, like it's been stuck in the mud, it's been in a rut, it's been in a space of like, there's no way this could ever come back together, and then it does. Something shifts, something moves, something changes, and because of this unforeseen thing, that's why you can't trust what you're seeing or what you know. You can't trust what is at this moment because there are things and factors that are unseen operating behind the surface. Let's take a look at what the world's here. Can we clarify the world, please? Three of Pentacles. We had that in the beginning in the same position. Three of Pentacles, Nine of Pentacles, and Seven of Swords. Okay. So this tells me the story of what brings you to the world. So we had this beautiful, cooperative kind of experience. You worked really well together. So this is kind of giving you an indication of maybe who this person is, but it'll only give you clues. I mean, because of this surprise energy, there's only so much I can tell you, but this is someone that you worked with and that you worked really well with. You seem to complement each other quite well, but something came and fell apart. There was some sort of deception, or there was some sort of, someone tried to get away with not being vulnerable, or there was some kind of harsh words spoken where it left you in this space of confusion where you felt, it feels like this partnership has always felt right to an extent, but when you introduce thoughts to it, it kind of it doesn't make sense. It does make sense, but it doesn't make sense. This is really hard to explain. So we have this kind of like these conflicts where both parties don't really understand what the conflict is or why it's there. It could be triggers. It could be that you triggered each other, so you work really well together. There was this harmony, this trine energy. So trine is like a blessing, but part of the difficulty with blessings is that they come easily. And so as soon as a relationship that comes so easily hits roadblocks or hits difficulty, it kind of, it doesn't, like that relationship doesn't know what to do. So I see that what is coming to a completion here is this understanding of self in a new way. And the understanding of self helps bring you back into community so that you can understand what these untruths were, or what the deceptions were, or, you know, it's almost like, I feel like no one really deceived each other. It's more like they misunderstood each other. There were misunderstandings. So what that brought you to was a space of independence. And so this is where the Ace of Cups comes in that you are developing this greater sense of responsibility for yourself and your own feelings and your own triggers. So that was the journey to come to the world. So I see coming in for you as a communication, or you are going to communicate. So one of the things that, there's a reader, Lumiere, and she talks about how the masculine energy is the one that pursues. So if you identify as the pursuer, I see you, the masculine energy, pursuing the feminine energy, coming in with a vengeance, looking for victory. It's almost that not taking no for an answer, but not in a creepy way. It's like the other person is willing to have that come in. They're willing for that offer. It's just that there's this kind of like murky, shadowy energy between you. Let's take a look at what that is. What is this shadow energy between these two people? So if you're already with this person, these are the kinds of like conflicts that are coming into resolution. Okay, so there's this insecurity is at the heart of the difficulty in this relationship. It's insecurity, but you have the sun. The sun is what connects you. The sun, this beautiful sun energy, can also in its shadow side be ego. So there's some sort of aspect, and with the Six of Rods here, we can see that there's definitely pride in this Knight of Swords that's moving forward. This hermit shifts into Knight of Swords energy and goes for it with a lot of pride and with that victory in mind. And so there is this bright Leo sun energy here that is really vital, but there's so much insecurity and self-doubt here. And like possessiveness comes from the feeling that you are going to lose. So this guy is literally sitting on his pentacles so that he doesn't lose them. But I see that you kind of had to lose the pentacles in order to get them back again. Right? Okay, let's get some animal wisdom cards for you, and we'll close out the love portion of the reading and move on to career. Career, work, school. All right, so we have koi carp, abundance. Move with the flow of abundance around and through you. This is about going with the flow of your heart, going with the emotional flow of energy, you know, with all of the swords and the confusing thoughts, and with all of the pentacles. Like pentacles can be really stuck energy. So there, you know, there's this stuck energy in this relationship. But what I see you, you know, what I see you planting, and this is very similar to the first part of the reading, what I see you planting is actually the sun above. It's like positioning your seeds in the sun so that they will grow, so that they can draw on that beautiful sunlight and grow. And we have fox. Yeah, there's the shadow work. There are no shadows without lights. There are no shadows without light. Positioning your seeds in the light. So rather than thinking of planting new seeds, this is about shifting and positioning the seeds that already exist in the light. So what could that mean in terms of your relationship to this other person? So if you are the pursuer, that can be shifting your perspective to this beautiful sunshine and this beautiful connection, and to the wish fulfillment, to the growth that you have experienced. We had with the Nine of Pentacles, to the fact that there is something transformative in this connection that you cannot grasp strictly intellectually. Okay, there is something else to this, and trusting that and shedding light on that and sending light to that person before you even speak to them. Send light to them, send love to them, let them know you are coming in that way. If you are the person being pursued, there could be some, because of these shadows, there could be this blockage in willingness to feel their light or to accept their light. So just taking a look at yourself, are you blocking them? You know, are you holding them up to the light and are you allowing this to grow? Are you allowing the possibility of this to grow, or have you tucked it away and said no? You know, and kind of shoved it into the darkness in a way. All right, so I think I'll leave it there. I hope this was helpful. Please leave me a comment down below, and I'll start moving on to the career reading for you guys. By the way, if you want a personal reading, my information is in the description box below, as well as links to yoga and meditation classes and a GoFundMe to help me go back to school. It starts in July, and I have a target of $5,500 to pay the first term tuition. So if you have any amount that you would like to contribute, that is also linked in the description box, and I would muchly appreciate it. All right. So moving on to career, work, school. What's going on for you in this new moon cycle, new moon in Gemini? What are you manifesting? What seeds are you planting for career? Oh, the Three of Pentacles. Judgments. Nine of Swords. Okay, I don't really read these reversed, so I'm going to flip them over in a moment. Okay. So with the Three of Pentacles reversed, there have been some changes. So we saw this in the beginning of the reading, and I suspected this would come up again. So just as I saw the love themes, I see that this is echoing here. So there's a situation you're moving away from, a partnership or some kind of collaborative work situation that is not working out for you. This could indicate that it may be time to go at it alone, or to find a different community, find a different situation. So this was where, and I'm getting the same energy here, this is where it was like leaking resources, draining you. It wasn't really rewarding you enough to make it worth it, or to feed you back. So maybe you were giving more than you were receiving, or contributing an amount of energy to something that wasn't being matched by another person. With the Nine of Swords, moving away from this situation, I think, will help. If you've had sleepless nights, or it feels like certain deadlines or certain situations, like maybe you're dreading going into work, maybe you're dreading going into school. These are signs and indications. These sharp feelings are indications of places not to go. So listening to the body rather than the mind. The mind is going to deceive you in the middle of the night. It is going to perhaps send you into a space of hopelessness. But I really see that this is an opportunity for tremendous growth for you. It's like here it feels like an announcement from the divine that this is showing you, this is a sign that it is time to move on. So if you're receiving that sign and you want to know, this may be an indication or something that may help you to make that decision. But we are co-creating this reading together, so try not to take anything as truth, in the sense that your truth is somewhere between what I'm saying and what you know of yourself. Okay, so use your intuition to fill in the blanks in this reading. Okay, so we're clarifying with the Page of Wands. Okay, I felt like justice was going to come out. Yeah. Okay. So what I see here is actually this, it's very interesting. So you're kind of going back to a place of being humble, of being younger. So this could be going back to school, going back to training, going back to the beginning of something, or like maybe you had a higher rank in your old job and you're going into a new territory, and so you're sort of having to go back and learn more of the basics or different details of a similar field, something like that. And so while you're doing this, you are actually, it may feel like you're taking a step backwards, in that it's going to challenge you more than what you are already doing. It may ask you to develop different skills, different abilities, but what you're being reminded of is your ability to navigate the unseen. So this is an indication of, for me, maturity and the ability to navigate. So even if this is a space where, in terms of knowledge, you feel like you are behind, you feel like you are, or in terms of status, like going from, management in one place to entry level in another, if that feels like a dissension almost, you are actually ascending in a different way, because you have already developed this wisdom and these tools to navigate. And so your navigation of getting from, so let's keep using the example of management. The last time you went from entry level to management, you did it without this maturity, without this ability to navigate. So here, let's say you're going back to school, or you're coming into an entry-level position in a different kind of field. You have the ability to navigate from entry-level to management in a much cleaner way. The mess isn't there so much as it was before, because you have learned from what you did before. But I really see that this is a nudge from the divine. This is a nudge from the universe to get you moving in a different direction. And what I'm really feeling here is it comes with a lot more work. It comes with this feeling of being humbled. There may be really moments of frustration, but I see that being a much better use of your energy and time than this thing that you were comfortable with before. So where you had the skills and abilities and you were fully developed before, it was creating these situations where the anxiety or the difficulty, the mental difficulty, the drain on you was actually hurting your life. So this could be a job where it takes up more of your time, it has more challenges. There could be a lot of things that maybe on paper seem not so appealing, but it actually is going to enrich your life in a different way. So there's an enrichment here, and there's this divine sanction, and there's this maturity and this ability to navigate that you didn't have before. Okay? So So I am going to get some cards, some spirit wisdom cards for your career. Tiger, divine timing. Yes. Okay. So this could be something, and we've had this was in the, I'm not sure if it was in the opening, now I'm forgetting, but I know it was in the love reading where there was this echo of your childhood. So it could be that this is something that you have been building up to your whole life, and there's or for a long time, and there's this aspect of divine timing. Good things come to those who wait. So maybe you've been waiting for this opportunity to come about, or you've been too afraid. You haven't had the courage or the confidence to pursue it before, but I see this confidence, and I see that there's this here, and with this makes me think of, when you're younger and you're like, that's not fair. I feel like you are able to see that's not fair, and then kind of move through it and understand that this period of unfair or this period of difficulty is also leading you in the right direction. So divine timing. And this to me feels like there's an aspect of yourself that is stepping, even if you're stepping down from a leadership position and going down the ranks in a way, or starting, becoming a student can be very humbling, or becoming, starting a new career at a lower position, but it's actually bringing you into leadership energy. It's got that emperor energy. You're going to stand out because this is what you are meant to do. This is divinely aligned. We have leaf cutter ants. It just started storming, so I don't know if you can hear that, but it's kind of loud here. I closed some windows, but anyway. So we have leaf cutter ant, army of life. Ask for help, seek support. You are not alone. And this is what I'm going to say is something that marks this change or this difference. So if you have taken a step down in your career, or there's something that seems like a demotion, or there's something that seems like a step backwards, that is actually a launch forward. So with this Three of Pentacles, I see in the situation that you were in before that you had less support, that you had less that you were sort of supporting everything, and that's where a lot of this anxiety came from. And it's because you had developed this maturity, or this ability to navigate difficult situations, and so maybe people were coming to you for that, but you weren't getting equivalent support. But I see in this position, and if you think about it, when you come into that position of student versus teacher, for instance, you're able to ask the questions that you need to ask. You're able to have people be patient with you and allow you to grow and nurture you. And so maybe that's part of what you needed here, was to be nurtured. Okay? So I'm just going to I feel like I need to get you some crystal wisdom cards before we close the reading. I love the rain. Do you love the rain? Do you love thunderstorms? Leave me a comment down below. Tell me how you feel about the rain. I love it. We have awakening crystal, soul awakening. I am awakening to my true essence, and I am a full expression of my soul's vibration. That's really what I'm feeling is coming in for you with work or school, is that you are just going to feel so much better in this, because it's almost like it's what you've been doing or working toward kind of your whole life. You have skills and abilities you didn't even know you had in relation to this. So we have fire agates, and it says creativity. I allow the creativity of my soul to shine through into my worlds. So that's beautiful. And yes, I was getting this sacral awakening here. Sacral awakening. So deep creativity and nurturing and having that are not only within you, but around you. So I'll leave you there. Thank you so much for joining me. As always, my information is in the description box below, so check all of that out, and we'll see you soon. Bye.